Result of race 7 is first trap 3 Bush Standard, trained by Kelly Finley. Second trap 2 Forest Dot, and a photograph for third remaining place. 3, 2 and a picture. Also, one of the presentations about to be made to winning connections of Bush Standard. Owned by the Coyson again, trained by Kelly Finley on winning the Sitting Bull Mini Standard. Congratulations to winning connections. Trophy's been presented by Keith Hoffam. Going to finish 4 race 7, 3, 2, 5, 6, 1, 4. Winner's time 27.70. The ground to the racing way to race on the Sitting Bull Standard. Trap 1 is Bush Bandstand, owned by Descent Syndicate, trained by Kelly Finley, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 27 dead. Trap 2 is Drewby's Rachel, owned by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth with a race with a 29.5. Trap 3, Lenson Peter, owned by Mr. L.P. Ponder, trained locally at Sitting Bull by Tony Collett with a race with a 34.9. Trap 4 is Hollyoak Mad Sam, owned by Mr. DJ Hegarty, trained by Bernie Connolly, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a racing with a 34 dead. Trap 5 is Booze Colleen, owned by MPL Racing, trained by Barry O'Sullivan, attached to Crayford with a race with a 27.3. And Trap 6, Tullamore Reverse, owned by Mr. C.D. Moore, Mrs. A.C. Moore, trained by Spencer Mavericks, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a racing weight of 35 dead. Here are the traps for race 9, 480 metres the distance. Breakaway from the traps, 3 Browell from 4, 5, 6 out wide, 1, 2 towards the first bend. We go 3 or 4 in line round the first turn. It's 3 that just holds the lead, 4 in second and 5. 6 in behind that. Lenson Peter leads down the back straight with Hollyoak Mad Sam in chasing, closing in second. 6 out wide at Tullamore Reverse, 5's in behind that is Boots Colleen. They round the penultimate turns, 3 and 4 together up front. 6 tries to close in third and 5. They head round to the final turn. Lenson Peters holding on, 4 challenging late on the outside. Hollyoak Mad Sam. 6 in behind that. 3's gone clear again though from 4 late on the outside. 3 does enough to beat 4. Judges called for a photo finish to decide the result of race 9. So draw your attention to the centre rostrum where the presentation is about to be made to winning connections of Lenson Peter, owned by Mr. L.P. Ponder and trained by Tony Collett. On winning the Sitting Bull Standard, the trophy is being presented by Keith Hoffam. Here on the ground to the racing weights of race 11, the Sitting Bull Super Standard. Trout 1, special release, owned by Mr. G.J. Noble, trained by Dave Lee, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 28.7. Trap 2 is Kiss Me, owned by Mr. J. Donahue, Mr. A.J. Wilburn, trained by Anthony Wilburn and attached with a race with a 33.5. Trap 3 is Boomtown Ken, owned by Mr. K.J. Devonshire and Mr. B. Tufnell, trained by Tony Collett. That's locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 33.6. Trap 4, Drewby's Trump, owned by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth with a race with a 35.1. Trap 5, Bush Whitney, owned by Mr. D.T. Bassett, Mr. W. Downs and Mr. M. O'Donnell, trained by Kelly Finley, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 29.4. And Trap 6 is Too Old to Dream, owned by Mr. C.D. Moore, Mrs. A.C. Moore, trained locally at Sitting Bull by Spencer Mavericks with a race with a 34.3. And approaching Traps race 11. And off we go. One broke well from 4-3 to the inside 5-6. Towards the first bend we go as one special release with the early pace round the first bend. 3 in second and 2. 4's Jimmy Harlan and 5 and 6 the bank marker. Down the back straight we go. Special release accelerated into a lead. Down the back straight with 4 in second. Drew is Trump. 5's Jimmy Harlan is Bush Whitney. 2's towards the inside is Kissimmee. Trying to make progress from the back is 2 Ultra Dream. They ran the Penardo turns though. 1's out in front and clear. 4 in behind that. 5's Jimmy Harlan and 2. 3's Jimmy Harlan and 6. 1 sped to the lead and goes on to win. Special release wins for second. Close for third. Delta race 11 as first trap 1 special release trained by Dave Lee. Second was trap 4 Droopy's Trump and a photograph for third remaining place. 1-4 and a picture. So I'll draw your attention to the centre also where the presentation is being made to Winning Connections special release. Someone in the Sittingbourne Super Standard. Congratulations to Winning Connections by Mr. G.J. Noble and trained by Dave Lee. Trophy being presented by Keith Hopham. The finish for race 11, 1-4-5-2-3-6. Racing way to race 1, the Sittingbourne Maiden Open race over 480 metres. Trap 1 is Dead Real, owned by Mrs. Enshine, trained by Nina Shine unattached, with a race water 27.5. Trap 2, Unique Row, owned by Mr. A. Wickett and trained by Kelly Finley, attached locally at Sittingbourne, with a race water 33.7. Trap 3 is Drew Bizarden, owned by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, with a race water 34.9. Trap 4, Rita's Lad, owned by Mr. I. Bryant, Mr. DJ McCormack, and Mr. C.R. Pocklelock, trained by Barry O'Sullivan, attached to Crayford, with a racing with a 34 dead. Trap 5, Dilemma's Tessa, owned by Mr. J. Ellis, trained locally with Sittingbourne by Spencer Mavericks, with a racing with a 26.5. And Trap 6 is Clara Marianne, owned by Mr. P.K. Sanderson, trained by Sonia Spears, attached locally at Sittingbourne, with a racing with a 28.8. And away we go. 1 broke well, 2 stumbled at the start. 3, 6, 4 and 5 toward the first bend. We go to Dead Real with the early pace round the first bend. 3 in chase and second is Drew Bizarden. Towards the outside is Clara Marianne. 5 behind that Dilemma's Tessa. 4 towards the outside is Reader's Lad. 2 making progress from the back is Unique Row. They approach the penultimate turns. 1's alone in front and clear with 3 in behind it and 6. 5's in behind it and 2. The head round of the final bend. It's Dead Real that's out in front still though, trying to close Drew Bizarden in second. 6 in behind that. 5's made late progress and 2. But 1 wins the opener though. 3 was second and 5 third. So I'll draw your attention to the centre rostrum where the presentation is about to be made to Winning Connections of Dead Real, owned by Mrs. Enshine and trained by Nina Shine unattached, on winning the Sittingbourne Maiden. Congratulations to Winning Connections of the trophy. Standard Heat 2. Trap 1 is Fire Food Chili, owned by Jim Dale Racing, training syndicate trained by James Daly attached to Yarmouth for the race with a 36.2. Trap 2 is Ballyho Anthem, owned by Mrs. A.M. Kirby, Mr. D.J. Smith, trained by Ian Kirby attached to Milton Hall, for the racing with a 33 dead. Trap 3 is a new venture owned by Mr. K.J. Cobbold, trained by Kevin Cobbold attached to Henlow, with a race with a 27.6. Trap 4 is Lenson Peter, owned by Mr. L.P. Ponder, trained locally by Tony Collett, attached to Sittingbourne with a race with a 34.8. Trap 5 Bush Standard, owned by Corey Syndicate, trained by Kelly Finley, attached locally at Sittingbourne with a race with a 32.8. Trap 6, Jazz Fusion, owned by Mrs. N Shine, trained by Nina Shine, unattached. Racing with a 31.7. 3 minutes. And away we go. A pretty level break. 5 broke well from 1 to the inside. 6 in behind that, and 3's the bank marker. It's 5 that leads around the outside. Bush Standard leads with 1 in chase. At second is Fire Food Chili. 6 towards the outside is Jazz Fusion. In behind that is Baloo-Ho Anthem. 4 making progress through the field is Lenson Peter. 3's the bank marker. A new venture there around the penultimate turns. It's Fire Food Chili that's still out in front. 5 is closing second. And 4 in behind that, and 2. 6 in behind that, and 3. 1's the leader though. It's Fire Food Chili that goes on to win though. 1 wins. 4 maybe second. Close for the places. Result of race 11 as first, trap 1. Fire Food Chili, trained by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate and trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, and a photograph of mating places. 1 on a picture. Trained by Mr. KJ Devons and B. Tufnell, trained by Tony Collins. That's locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 33.3. Trap 2 is Missy Kissy, owned by Steve Morrison and Grant Holt Racing Club, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth with a race with a 27.3. Trap 3, Bingley's Flyer, owned by Mr. R. Bingley, trained by Tony Taylor, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 29.6. Trap 4, Tullamarri Verse, owned by Mr. C.D. Moore, Mrs. A.C. Moore, trained by Spencer Mavericks, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 34.9. Trap 5 is Bush Whitney, owned by Mr. D.T. Bassett, Mr. W. Downs and Mr. M. O'Donnell, trained by Kelly Finley, attached locally at Sitting Bull with a race with a 29.8. And Trap 6 is Rockview Royal, owned by Mr. C.A. Turner, trained by KTF Ledley, unattached, with a racing with a 30.5. 3.5 minutes betting. And away we go. 1 broke well from 3, 2's in behind it and 4, 6 in behind it and 5 towards the first bend we go. 1, 3 and 4 together around the first turn with 6 in behind it and 2, 5 towards the back. There's trouble out wide. It's 6 that leads. There's Rockview Royal that leads over 5 in chase, and second is Bush Whitney. 3's towards the inside is Brinkley's Flyer. 2's in behind that is Missy Kitty, and behind that is 1. 4's the bank marker. They ran up and on about turns though. 6 to 1 to catch. 5's trying to close and 2. 3's in behind and 1. They're off the final bend. It's Rockview Royal still out in front with 5 next and 3. 2's in behind that is 6 that wins. 5 second and 3 maybe just third. Slot draw your attention to the centre of Austin where the presentation is being made to Winning Connections with Rockview Royal on winning the Sitting Bull Super Standard. Congratulations to Winning Connections. Trophy being presented by Keith Hoffam. Here on the ground to the racing weights of race 1, the Sitting Bull pitches standard open race over 480 metres. Trap 1, Missy Kitty, owned by Stephen Morrison and Grant Holt Racing Club, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, for the race with a 26.8. Trap 2 is Skilliper Piper, owned by New Balance Delegate trained by Daniel Braben. A test locally here at Sittingbourne with a squad of 25.9. Trap 3 is Westmead Diva, owned by Mr. M.T. Smith, and Mr. T. Smith, trained by Nick Saville, attached to Henlow with a squad of 28.9. Trap 4 is Westway Triangle, owned by Mr. C. Simon, trained by Mickey Holloway, attached to Wimbledon with a squad of 30.4. Trap 5 is Fair Value, owned by Mr. D.B. Whitten, trained by Darren Witton, attached to Henlow with a racing order 26 dead. And Trap 6 is Dilemma's Tessa, owned by Mr. J. Ellis, trained by Spencer Mavis, attached locally at Sittingbourne with a squad of 26.8. And away we go. 2 broke well from 1, 5, 6, 4 and 3. Towards the first bend we go. Kilara Pepper leads the first bend with 5 in second is Fair Value. 1's in behind that is Missy Kissy. 3's in between them is Westmead Diva. 4 the outside is Westway Triangle on the back marker. Dilemma's Tessa. It's 2 the leads and 5 moving well in behind that and 1. 3's in behind that and 4 and 6 out wide. The head round the penultimate turns though. Kilara Pepper's still the one to catch though. Trying to close Fair Value the outside. Sticking on behind that Westmead Diva. 2 1's in behind that but 2's going to hold on to win the opener though. Beat 5 in second. Result of race 1, the Sittingbourne Bitches standard was first. Trap 2, Kilara Pippa, trained by Daniel Braben, attached locally here at Sittingbourne. So I'll draw your attention to the centre rostrum where the presentation's about to be made to Winning Connections. Kilara Pippa, owned by the New Balance Delegate and trained by Daniel Braben, on winning the Sittingbourne Bitches standard. Congratulations to Winning Connections. The trophy being presented by Keith Hoffam. Two 9.35. Distance is 3/4 of a length, 1 length, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 3/4 of a length. The other ground to the racing way to race 3, the Sittingbourne Stayers Heat 1. First 3 qualify for the final here next Sunday evening. Trout 1 is Red Hot Agent, owned by Mr. F. Saville, trained by Frank Saville, unattached, with the race with a 35.4. Trap 2 is Mulrook Celtic, owned by the Office Dwellers, trained by Jodie Luckhurst, attached to Crayford, with the race with a 28.2. Trap 3 is Stunning Rusty, owned by Mr. S. Mavis, trained by Spencer Mavis, with a racing weight of 33 dead. Trap 4, Drewby's Trump, owned by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, for the race with a 35.1. Trap 5 is Mallox Lulu, owned by Mr. C. Oliver, trained by Jennifer March, attached to Milden Hall, with a racing with a 30 dead. And Trap 6 is Snowden Tommy, owned by Mr. J.D. Bush, trained by Julie Luckhurst, attached to Crayford, the racing weight of 33.8. And off we go. I put a level break. 4, 3, 2 the inside. 6, 1, 5 the bank marker. It's 2 the lead. The inside is Mullock. So to the lead. 6 out wide is Snowden Tommy. 3's in behind is Stunning Rusty. 1 the insider is Red Hot Agent. Drewby's Trumps in behind that, and Mallox Lulu towards the outside. There's a lap to go though. Out in front though and kicking on though. Stunning Rusty though trying to close towards the inside. He's making progress. Is 2, 5's in behind that, and 3 alone in front though is Snowden Tommy towards the penultimate turns though. Trying to close in second is Mulrook Celtic. 5 round the outside as Mallox Lulu makes steady progress. So does 1 from the back. Red Hot Agent. 3 and 4 are next. They're off the final bend though. 6 still out in front. Snowden Tommy. 5's finishing fast, but maybe not fast enough. 6 beat 5. 2 was third. Here are the greyhounds of the racing weights of race 7. The feature race of the evening is the Sittingbourne Mini Standard Final. Chart 1 is Lenson Peter, owned by Mr. L.P. Ponder, trained locally, was sitting by Tony Collett, with race with a 34.8. Trap 2 is Fire Food Chili, owned by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, with a racing with a 36.1. Trap 3 is Bush Standard, owned by Kai Syndicate, trained by Kelly Finley, unattached, with a racing with a 33 dead. Trap 4, Fizzy Pop Supreme, owned by Fizzy Pop Syndicate, trained by June Harvey, attached to Paul, with a race with a 34.1. Trap 5, Ferry Fourth Pole, owned by Mrs. Ellie Cobbold, trained by Kevin Cobbold, attached to Henlow, with a race with a 31.8. And Trap 6 is Forest Trick, owned by Mr. M. Flynn, trained by Heather Dimmock, attached to Peterborough, the racing weight of 28.7. 3 minutes. Off we go. 4 Bowell from 5, 6, 1, 2 and 3. Round the first bend we go, pretty close and scrimmaging in midfield. But it's Forest Trick that's allowed to get clear. They're close in midfield. In behind that to the inside, Fire Food Chili. 5's in chase though is Ferry Fourth Ball. In behind that is Fizzy Pop Supreme, Lenson Peter. They're down the penultimate turns though as they head round to the penultimate turns though. Still out in front. It's Forest Trick that leads. 5's in behind that. 2, 4, 3 in behind that. 6 is going on to win the feature race though. Forest Trick wins. Ferry Fourth Pole wins second and 2 third. Result of race 7, the Sittingbourne Mini Standard Final was first Trap 6, Forest Trick, trained by Heather. So draw your attention to the centre rostrum where the presentation is about to take place for Winning Connections of Forest Trick, owned by Mr. M. Flynn and trained by Heather Dimmock, attached to Peterborough, and winning the feature race of the evening, the Sittingbourne Mini Standard Final. Congratulations to Winning Connections. The trophy is being presented by JSP Building Services, and well done to Winning Connections of Forest. Here are the grounds of the racing weights of race 5, the Sittingbourne Bitches. Trap 1, Missy Kissy, owned by Steve Morrison and Grant Holt Racing Club, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, with a racing with a 26 dead. Trap 2, Kilara Pepper, owned by New Balance Syndicate, trained by Daniel Braben, attached locally here at Sittingbourne, with a race with a 25.6. Trap 3, Forest Trick, owned by Mr. M. Flynn, trained by Heather Dimmock, attached to Peterborough, with a race with a 28.7. Trap 4 is Make It Magic, owned by Mrs. M.E. Keith, trained by Frank Gray, attached to Paul, with a race with a 29.5. Trap 5 is Malux Lolo, owned by Mr. C.R. Leffer, trained by Jennifer March, attached to Milden Hall, with a race with a 29.8. And Trap 6 is Dilemma's Tessa, owned by Mr. J.L.S., trained by Spencer Mavericks, attached locally here at Sittingbourne, race with a 26.7. And off we go. 5 and 4 Bowell, 6, 3, 2 and 1. Towards the first bend we go. 3 with the first round. With the first bend it's Forest Trick that just leads Okilar Pipper in second. 5 in behind that is Malux Lulu. 6 in behind that Dilemma's Tessa. 4's in behind that is Make It Magic. Down the back straight we go. 3 leading from 6 to Challenger. 1's in behind that of 5. 2's in behind that of 4. They ran the penultimate turns though. It's 3 that's holding the lead at the moment though. Forest Trick with 6 upside. Dilemma's Tessa around the outside of Challenge. 1's in behind that though. 6 has got the lead though. 6 goes on to win. 1 grabs second and 3 third. To Winning Connections of Dilemma's Tessa, owned by Mr. J. Ellis, trained by Spencer Mavis. Someone in the Sittingbourne Bitches. Trophy's been presented by Keith Hoffam. Race 11, the Sittingbourne Super Standard. Trap 1, Pearl Diver, owned by Mrs. C.M. Arnold, Mrs. East Lining, trained by Jennifer Masters, Aston Merton Hall, with ace with a 31.9. Trap 2, Droopy Zero, owned by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, with a race with a 27.5. Trap 3 is Droopy's Trump, owned by Jim Daly Racing Syndicate, trained by James Daly, attached to Yarmouth, with a race with a 34.2. Trap 4, High Hondo, owned by Mr. W.C. Munden, trained by Bill Munden, attached to Harlow, with a race with a 32.7. Trap 5 is Lenson Pele, owned by Mr. E.R. Dennis, Mr. J.T. France, Mr. L.P. Ponder, trained by Tony Collett, with a race with a 30.4. And the Stripe Jacket of Trap 6, Tyro Willie Joe, owned by Mr. H.J. Berlin, Mr. L.W. Calcada, Mr. K. Parkin, trained by John Mullins, with a race with a 32.9. 3 minutes. Breakaway from the traps, 5 fast away from 6, 2, 1, 3 and 4. 5 at the early pace of the first bend. Lenson Pelly leads the first bend with Tyro Willie Joe and Chase in second. Drewby's always in behind that. 4's next is High Hondo on the inside. Pearl Dive on the back. Marvelous Drewby's Trump. They're down the back straight towards the penultimate turns though. 5's the one to catch with 6 in second 2. 4's in behind that and 3. Round the penultimate turns though. It's Lenson Pelly still the one to catch though. 6 tries to close. Tyro Willie Joe. It's 4-2 from the back 3. It's 5 that's going on to win though easily. 5 wins, 6 just about second. Delta race 11, the Sittingbourne Super Standard was first trap 5, Lenson Pele, trained by Tony Collett. Second was trap 6, Tyro Willie Joe. Third trap 2, High Hondo. So I'll draw your attention to the centre also where the presentation's being made to winning connections of Lenson Pele on winning the Sittingbourne Super Standard. Congratulations to Winning Connections. Trevor's being presented by Keith Hoffam. Well on to Winning Connections of Lenson Pele. Mr. E.R. Dennis for JT.